We're live actually. We're live. We've been live since.
We are live.
Don't worry, I'll cut it off after. I'm live. Just start when you want.
Gap scored one and assisted one to drive Netherlands to the quarterfinal of the Euros 2024 tournament. It was a fantastic game for the orange side of the nation. They beat Romania comfortably by 3-0. We thought that Romania was going to put up a fight, but they did not actually put up that fight. They fought, but they didn't fight well. But the Netherlands won that game 3-0. Welcome to Vote Sports on Vote FM. Vote 104.3 FM. My name is Godwin, and I'm here with the A team. Hi, how are you, John? Good morning.
Fine, thank you. Good morning.
How are you, Noso? Good morning.
Well, I'm good. Just disappointed.
You're disappointed. Your operation did not work yesterday.
No, it did not.
For the first time, right?
Maybe, just maybe.
Just maybe. Okay, we are live on YouTube at Vote FM Sports. On YouTube at Vote FM. You can join us and watch us live on YouTube. And we're also on Facebook at Vote 1043 FM. But we are live currently. You can come there, watch us, drop your comments. We'll be reading your comments live here in the studio. We will also be opening our phone lines for you to call us, our listeners to call us, to give us your contribution about all that happened on yesterday's game and your prediction for the quarterfinals of the Euros 2024. Okay, the numbers to call is 0706 048 5853. We are going to open the lines later in the show. Okay, John. Romania versus Netherlands. You got your prediction right. You said that Netherlands will win, but it was a comfortable win. We didn't even expect that because the Romanians stopped their group. We are expecting that at least probably they fought. I think even though they considered that last goal at the almost 90 minutes plus, but it was a straight win for the orange side.
Yeah, I said that, circumstances behind them finishing top of their group does not qualify or translate to them coming into a match that it's do or die. A 90 minutes match, you win, you lose, you're out of the competition either way. So they came in, gave it their best shot. But somebody has been always talking about slow motion Gakpo. But the guy was electric yesterday. And he actually had 2 goals, though one was ruled off due to VAR, and then he also got an assist for the 3rd goal. So I think this is the Holland side or Netherlands side that we grew up watching with the likes of Nistelrooy and the other one. Though they've moved on now, but at least somebody was carrying the last embers of that generation in that match yesterday. A 3-0 win is a comfortable win. I was looking forward to seeing the Romania side that has been touted in this show yesterday, but they didn't come up. They didn't show up to be accounted for, and it's just it's sad, but it is what it is. Netherlands move forward.
I know.
I'm just looking at you. I don't have anything to say. I out of disappointment, I am short of words. But you say slow motion. I'll take him to the anti-doping.
That's actually what you say.
Anti-doping.
That's what he said.
Yes, I'll take him to anti-doping people. They'll have to check him. They'll have to do a test on him. That was not Gakpo playing. Maybe it was somebody else replacing him. Come on. The energy in that game was just... I felt like this guy don't come Nigeria concert gala. So in the form for Netherlands before, in the form for Liverpool. But the performance was electrifying. I felt like, why would I come on radio and criticize this guy? I am always here talking about his performance, talking about how he does, I actually got angry at him. I started getting angry at him at the FA Cups when he played against Man United, and that was where I just picked offense with him. And after that game, I started noticing that he's been playing like that. He only comes once in a while and give a performance. And yesterday was another thing, because we're always talking about Memphis, playing up front, and now we saw the switch, because for him to
they were switching throughout the game.
They were switching throughout that game. To tell you that this was his original position as the stop 9, and that was where he got the goal from. And the player I was looking out for, Hagi, was not even in the pitch at all. He was just running around like a lost cattle. And come on, Romania should have done better. They topped the group with 4 points. Every other person in that group got 4 points, but they should have done better at least. get a result, get a fighting chance, maybe score a goal. So I will know, yes, so Nonso has confidence in these people. I gave the people my word that Romania will shock the world, drag them into it. I know Netherlands are going to win, but I needed Romania to drag them into extra time to show those weakness of Netherlands. The Netherlands have a lot of weakness in midfield. You understand? They needed to expose that weakness. But in that game yesterday, was the run over for the Netherlands. They just came yesterday to just walk over them, run over them, and perhaps shattered their hopes of getting into the next round.
Now, John, the coach has been changing tactics. Koeman has been changing tactics, but he played the back four again. Sometimes he plays the back three. But if you look at that, their defense is solid. Van Dijk being their captain, Ake, Dumfries, and you still have the lights on the bench. But if you look at this orange team now, they are looking like a complete side. But because other tournaments they are not really done well. Now, do you think that they have all it takes now? After this game, that they are going to be playing another tough game, Turkey, in the quarterfinals, but we're going to talk about that later in the show. Now, do you think that this orange side, now this Koeman is getting it right with his formation and his tactics?
You have to give it to him. You have to give credit to him where credit is due. Looking at the back line, you have that solid combination between Van Dijk and Stefan de Vrij. I do not see any reason why you should change that by bringing the Ligt into the side. He should just keep it the way it is. I think he has a very good squad on paper. Like I've always said, and I will continue to say, one of the biggest question marks over this team going forward is that man that is going to play in that top 9 position, who is going to get them goals. Okay,
so
the player has been doing a great job.
That's what I've always been pointing out. Okay, they need to. This is crunch time now. This is where we have knockouts happening. You go into a match to experiment, you take a loss and you're out of the competition. Okay, so they have a very solid team. They just need big characters to come up for the country whenever these opportunities, like last game it was Cody Gakpo coming up for them and Depay switching out into the wing. For me, I've always said I would never play Depay up front in that place. I would always play him down the wings and play somebody else in that attack. And it worked out for them yesterday. And let's see it going forward, because going forward against Turkey is another strong side that they have big characters in their side. They may not be star players on paper like Nonso would always say, but they have big characters who can come good for them. So they just need to make this thing work one way or another. Make it work.
Okay, you are talking about big characters on the pitch. You're starting a Steven Bergwijn. Xavi Simons, fine, he's a fantastic player. Steven Bergwijn in midfield. And you expect them to play something reasonable in the next round. John, I don't understand. You're saying as if they win one game, you're all praises. If they win the next, if they lose the next game,
if you look at some of their games, they have been playing very well.
And they've not been getting results. Play good football, don't get results. Now switching it back. This last game they switched and it was all Gakpo in front and Memphis at the wings, and you got results. Xavi Simons was actually playing from the flanks. He got an assist. Now this is the team you need to be going forward with. Why is Jeremy on the bench? Last game he didn't start and they played a draw. I think they struggled in that game. Now why is he on the bench? He could do a better job than Dumfries because there was no attacking options from the fullbacks. And you're expecting me to believe that this man has what it takes to take them. He's the same coach they've been swapping. Okay, you are not doing well this year. Come back. Van Gaal, go and take over. After next time, if Van Gaal is not doing well, you come back. Exactly. Like, man, go. Try your luck. This is what they've been doing for the past 6 or 7 years. Van Gaal and Koeman. Koeman was there. Van Gaal took over. Now, Koeman is back. Van Gaal is on the bench, resting somewhere. It won't work. Try your best foot up front. The midfield, I'm not even looking at the midfield as something. The midfield needs to be defensive and as well need to be creating chances. In this midfield, you only have wingers all around them. In the midfield, you say Xavi Simons, he plays from the flank most of the times. Steven Bergwijn plays from the flank most of the time. Now, bringing people that could play from the middle and create chances.
Let's talk about this guy that Manchester United have been looking for. He plays for the Netherlands. He has not even played even 1 minute, as far as this game yesterday. He wasn't introduced, but Manchester United are actually looking for him. We'll talk about that on transfer. That is Zeszki. He plays for the Netherlands, but he has not even played at all in these Euros. Is it that the coach doesn't trust him? But Depay is a very good player, and he should start. But at one point in the game, you should introduce this. But let's see this boy that Manchester United is talking about, John.
Yeah, it's kind of funny how some of the top talents in Europe are sitting on the bench in this competition.
You're not telling me top talent. Nobody knows. I didn't know about that guy.
You have Weghorst. on the side.
No,
We have-
well,
wait.
where's like Giroud?
We have
Who
Malen.
else is like Giroud? Like you can't count on him to play these 90 minutes
have
game for
Malen.
you and get something for
We have
you.
Malen who plays for Dortmund
And
on
was
the
on the
bench.
score sheet too.
And he came in as a sub and was on the score
He
sheet.
scored 2
You have
goals.
2 people like this on the bench. When you know you have you are struggling to get goals. You can just bring them in and they'll chip in goals for you. And you are telling me you want to bring in a workhorse. You at this point with the starting lineup, you don't need a workhorse as a backup plan. So Zexki does not even need to. You should just
Come on, no, so
you should
come
just
on,
use
no.
his
I
seatbelt well.
disagree with
Come on,
you.
You know,
I
he should use
disagree
his
with you.
seatbelt as
Come on.
as he's sitting on the bench. You should just bring his seatbelt and cross it. 2, not even. You know this type they use for jets. They cross with 2. You should just cross it with the 2 and
Let's
sit
let's
there.
not forget that this is somebody who can play the ball, who can finish, who can create chances as well too.
Simon is there.
If you're, yes, Simmons is there.
Simmons
but
is there to do the
Simmons is there, but Simmons alone cannot do the job. We've seen it countless times in the other game where they were in desperate need for a goal. They didn't have that opportunity. They didn't have the player in the frame of Zexi on the pitch to create something for them. And let's not forget now that Depay and Gakpo are 2 players who their best position is playing off down the flanks. He plays in that position for Liverpool, played there for Holland yesterday. The difference was that they were swapping in and out of that position. Okay, so Zexi is somebody that plays as a traditional top 9 for Bologna, and he can play in that position for
He's
this
always driving from
Netherlands
the
team.
flank. If you don't notice,
He plays in that
he
position.
drives from the flank as well. That is why I'm telling you. They needed somebody to
That
stay in the
is
box,
just an
and that is
add-on.
why they
It's an
introduced
add-on.
Malen.
It's an add-on.
See,
That's
when you
not
need
his
when you need
core
somebody
position.
when you need somebody to play in the box, you don't need a Zexki that will come back to midfield and try to drive. You need a Malen up front. You need a Weghorst. You need a Vinadium could come in midfield and play for you. And that you need a Mark Franklin. These people could just sit like they'll just house in the box and stay in between defenders. When the cross comes in, they drop a 1 touch. Their work is not to score goals, but Malen scored 2 goals yesterday. Lucky him. Their work is not to score the goals. Their work is to distract the defenders so other people can score. You saw that with Weghorst when he was in Man United, when he had in the FA Cup against Newcastle. That's what their job is. And for yesterday, they needed some sort of result up front. They've not been getting that, and they brought in Malen. And you notice for the past some days now, Malen comes in the 46th minute of the game, and the last time he did an own goal, he scored an own goal against the club, and now against country, and now he's playing in the second half and he's scoring 2 goals. I think it's resumption for his last mistake.
I think that Netherlands is actually missing De Jong, because if De Jong was in this team, they could play better. Because if you look at that, their midfield, they are trying, but you could actually notice that they're actually missing a creative move, not a creative, a controller, because that's what De Jong used to do for them. He controls the tempo of the game. Now, no. So, do you think that this midfield now, if you look at them, that these 2 guys they are playing, that they are capable of carrying them? Because I can't see them doing that when the heat start coming on.
Are you seeing the midfield on the bench? Are you seeing the players on the bench? You have a Jojo Wijnaldum on the bench.
Wijnaldum is old. You cannot count on him.
How old?
He's still old. You can't be counting on that kind of players now.
There is a player on the bench that could give you results. In that same midfield, where Weghorst could play the midfield position. You've seen it happen. He could drop back to midfield
Playing
and play number
Weghorst
10.
in the midfield. Come on. That's a
But
no-no.
it didn't
That's
for
a
Manchester
no-no.
United.
It
but
didn't.
It didn't work.
It
And
didn't
it's not
work.
going to
Who
work.
said it
in
didn't
this
work?
competition.
It
It
didn't
didn't
work.
work, and it's not going to work in
He
this
worked in the FA
competition.
Cup. He worked in the FA Cup last season.
If you are
He worked
telling
in the
me,
Carabao Cup
if you are
last
telling
season.
me now that you want to play a Ryan Gravenberch, I would say, okay, yes, understandable. This is a player that can defend and can support his players around him. But a Weghorst in midfield, please,
Come on,
I beg
also.
to
I was
differ.
mostly getting there. There's a Gravenberch on the bench. There's this guy that Chelsea has sent to Aston Villa, the left back that could also play in midfield. Mastin. These are 3 players that could play in the midfield and absorb no matter the amount of pressure and still get you results. Why are they not? They're not even getting minutes at all. They've not gotten. Okay, let's say Wijnaldum got you like 20 minutes in the game the last time. This period they're not getting you games at all. They're not getting minutes on the pitch, and it's a problem for me. I have to tell you, this coach is not somebody that I will say I believe in him to take this, like what you asked, to take this nation to the next level. Next round, they're playing against Turkey. They might survive that. They might not survive that. After that, it's on to the next one.
Okay, guys,
On to the next one.
we're having a lot of comments on our YouTube channel. Remember, guys, we are live on our YouTube. As you are listening to us, you can go us and see what we look like in the studio. 3 fine guys discussing sports. So we are live on YouTube. So we're going to be looking for the comments. I'm going to be reading some of the comments about this particular game. Okay, I'll start with everyone was greeting. Aaron is saying good morning, guys. West is saying good morning, guys. Good to have you. Okay, to be Emmanuel at Nonso, I think he is moving by. I have not been here for some days. Will you give Saliba his own flowers? You know, you have been criticizing Saliba throughout this show, but give him his flowers.
Okay,
first.
okay.
Carry his flower, big one, and give him first.
Namesake, I apologize. Last game he was fantastic, but I have to give kudos
It's
to
Emmanuel actually.
yeah, namesake. Now I have to call him namesake. Emmanuel is the same meaning with so that's why I call him
Emmanuel.
namesake.
Okay, yes.
I have to give him his flowers. Last game he was fantastic, but all thanks to
This
the
your
last
fault.
all thanks to the last tackle from
They are still having fault in this thing.
Theo Hernandez for saving them from that Carrasco's empty net. So he tried, but he had.
Look at how you're just
Okay.
fumbling over
You
your
know,
words. Give the man his flowers straight up, man.
Apologies, I had to come by.
Okay, I said the bank is saying delete for now. Play as they are. So
Yeah.
I think they
Centre
should
back
leave
is
it.
good.
Centre back is good. They don't need to change anything. Then I said the bank is also saying De Jong is injured. For that, the only good central midfielder they have, but he is not available. He is the only thing, but they have to manage. They have to manage because he was injured before the tournament, and they have to go. Okay, Emmanuel is saying, if this Netherlands team meets a country with good midfielders, they are out. The team is a defense and make up attack with no proper midfield line, which is actually true. They don't have very good midfielders, but their attack are good. If you look at the attack, Simeon, Gakpo, Depay,
Steven Bergwijn.
they are actually
The four of them are attackers, two midfielders. Come on. That's why I said bring in somebody that could have touches on the ball. That's why Wijnaldum is on the bench as well.
Yes, but if you look at this thing now, okay, they are going to the quarterfinals. They are playing Turkey. Do you think that they have all it takes now to reach this final? Because even though we didn't give them their flowers in the beginning of the tournament because of their previous performance in other tournaments, but now they are in quarterfinal. Okay, probably we'll get our prediction where we'll start discussing the other games in the quarterfinal. Let's talk about the second game that happened in the other game. It was Turkey advancing to the quarterfinal. So.
See, that was
Austria.
that was where my heart.
No,
That was where my heart.
because
That was where my heart was
your
officially shattered.
Your Jinjin manager did not ginger
them or two set. Do you know what it means by scoring from set piece? It means you after ginging the whole thing, you cannot defend set piece, corner kick and free kick. You cannot defend ordinary corner kicks and free kicks. And look at Andagula, he's the best set piece taker for Real Madrid, though he's on the bench. And getting an assist from one of those set pieces.
When I was saying that we have a star player in this side,
You have
we
a
were
boy
saying
with
that we
potential.
have boy
Calm
with
down.
potential.
Yeah,
He has shown,
no,
but he
like
has shown,
potential.
he has shown his credentials in that game yesterday. You can't take it away from him. He has
Do
shown
you know, in
that
the team they didn't play with a striker. There was no striking option in that.
He was playing first night.
he was playing.
A defender was
first
coming to
line.
score the goal,
Yeah.
which means it's let's just get free kick. I'll pass it to you on the air. If you can jump, just score. You can just get penalties or free kicks or corner kicks. And
Nobody said they have to win beautiful.
you score from open play if you
Nobody
want to
says
win.
you have to
That's
win.
why I have a
beautiful.
problem with France.
Bottom
They're not
line
going
is you
far.
have to win your matches.
How many goals have they scored from open play?
Nobody says you have to win beautiful.
See,
The most important thing is that you get the win.
Leave this thing about win beautiful or not win beautiful. If you play good football, you score from open play. If you are trying to defend, you score from set piece.
Where is
And they
have not
Austria?
scored
Where is
an open
Austria?
play.
And France, the
Where is
defending.
Austria now that play beautiful?
They are on their
football?
way to the Jets.
Thank
Calm
you.
down. But I still have to tell you that France is still in the tournament, and they are playing beautiful football, but they've not scored from open play. So what if France gets on to the final and win it? What will you say?
Same thing we are saying about Turkey now.
What if Spain, now that has
going
been
the extra-
scoring multiple goals from open play, does not get to the quarterfinals or perhaps does not exit the?
I think you are just hamping on this because Austria are out of the competition.
Okay. If you look at this game, both of them, it was a 50-50 game. Okay, let's go with two set pieces. It was, I will not say it was long.
You
but that
can't
means
hold
they-
it against them.
Yes.
These guys play pressing football. They are attacking you 2-4-7. They are at your faces 2-4-7, and they have to
They were
manage that
defending
attack
whenever
and
they go on the
counter.
attack. They,
You have to absorb that pressure, and then you counter them, and you look for opportunities to score. Basically, this Turkey side do not have a clinical striker, do not have an out and out 9. They do not have a big 9 in that place. They just have a couple of young talents, and this Adagula, who is very adept at taking the team forward and creating chances. So you can, if they do not have that person in that position to finish from that top 9 position, they make the best of what they had. And the most important thing was that they defended well. The way they defended, they were able to get these guys on the break, and they were able to get those opportunities. Let's not forget that these set pieces do not just come at the beck and call of these players. They actually draw those fouls to get the opportunities of those set pieces.
And they practice for the set pieces
Yes.
too. So you cannot. They scored in the first minute. That was one thing that I didn't like in that game. Starting your knockout stage like this, and first minute, just 53 minutes.
53 seconds of the game,
they are considered a goal.
I think their heads were not in the right place, and before they could get to fight back and get results into the game, they were already considering another one. They scored in the 40, I think it was 58th minute, and these people have to equalize in the 60th. So which means immediately the game started, your heads were down, you considered a goal. In the second half, you're trying to build your morale and get into the game. You consider another goal, which is a problem for me. I keep saying it. If you start a game, you start from the opening whistle. Don't wait until 10 minutes after the game. And that was where the Austrian side had an issue yesterday. They started the game off on the wrong foot. They started the game a bit relaxed. They felt like, okay, we're not going to create chances. Let's get on with it. Let's just play our normal football. They forget the fact that if you play a normal football from 17 minutes, you could have gotten 3 goals before the 17th minute. And before you start waking up to the call, you're already losing the game.
You have to understand, if you look at the stats, Austria actually played well. It's that it's just they considered these 2 goals unfortunate goals for them. But if you look at the stats, they had 21 goals, 5 on shot on target. And Turkey only had 6 shots and only 3 on target. If you look at their position, it's 61, 565 passes. So you will not say that they didn't actually play well. They played well. Probably, I think, because they considered the first goal early enough. So they need to come out and actually fight. But now, John, every big team, every small team, in quote, every small country is leaving. I will not call Turkey a small country, but they are now in the quarterfinals. They are going to play in the Netherlands. Now, are you thinking that these guys now, because they are, for me, all the big teams are there, the England, they are only team, probably out of the top 15, they are not, when you start ranking, they are not there. But they are in the quarterfinal. Do you think that they have all it takes to win this tournament?
Yeah, for me, there are still some question marks over this Turkey team.
Because they've actually defended almost throughout last night, even though it was a tactical. You know, when you defend and you win, they call it tactical masterclass because you won. But if you do that and lose, everybody is against you.
Why would you be defending?
Yeah, do you understand? So do you think that this Turkey can go on the way?
Like I said, they have some question marks in that team, talking about who is going to finish the chances they create, because they didn't create as much chances in this game. Though they got the early goal, they went back to defend as they should, and they were able to come back, get the second goal, and close up the game. Okay, so going up against the Netherlands side now, it's going to be a different ball game, because now you can't just come out and score and go back and defend, because Netherlands have the firepower in that side too.
Where the firepower they
have the firepower. You saw it in the last match. You saw it in the likes of Malen, you saw it in the likes of Gakpo, you saw it in the likes of Simmons and some other guys creating chances for them. So let's just say that going into this match, Netherlands are going to create more chances and they are going to drown out that Turkey side. But Turkey side should just play to their strength, which is getting an early goal and defend your game.
They should start this young boy. They should not bench him.
They can't afford to bench him. They can't afford to bench him.
He's the star player. That boy can play football. The way he touches the ball, I love him. I'm looking forward to, if you look at this whole tournament, all the young boys are playing, all the young stars.
They are all living up to expectations. Yes. It's the big names now that we are asking them to stand up and be numbered. Yes. Look at Mbappe, look at all these big boys. They are not doing anything.
Kylian has already told you that the Euros is tougher than the World Cup.
That's not an excuse.
Don't expect anything from me this tournament.
That's an excuse. Okay, we have a lot of comments on our YouTube channel. Remember, guys, we are live on YouTube at Volt FM Sports. If you are listening to us, you can go look at what we are talking about. Drop your contribution, drop your comments. We are going to be reading live here in the studio. Okay, Emmanuel is saying, Adnonson, beautiful game. Beautiful football ended in the group stage. Now it's all about winning.
Simple.
So nobody's talking about all this, your beautiful Australia, gingering. They tried. We have to give them that, because I was expecting Australia to actually go through. So that because
so far said this on the show.
Yes,
I
will not deny it. I will not deny that.
That's why I'm heartbroken.
Yeah, you should. Let's say the point saying Turkey played a well-crafted game from the beginning, and Adagula was a master class level. For me, he is the next is next Ozil.
Mesut
Ozil. Real Madrid did a good business getting him. That boy, you should give him his flowers.
Absolutely.
We are talking about younger players in this tournament. Musiala,
Lamine Yamal.
You see, every of them have been playing good for. Emmanuel is saying Turkey is a proper unit. They are playing with their strength and it's working already. Ese Divine is a Turkey played a massive attack and massive defense. In the second half, they switched tactics and it worked out for them. So I think that this game, if you look at it, that's why it's good to score the first goal. No, so if you score the first goal, it helps you organize it yourself well. It helps you. You can't, as for a coach, you say you always claim that you are a coach. If you if your team scores the first goal, what do you think you should do? Do you think that Turkey did the right thing? They were attacking as a unit, and once they lose the ball, everybody is back.
That's Mourinho style.
Yeah, that's why.
I don't like it.
You don't like it. Okay, want them to attack and
I like the
goal.
Just hold on with the ball. Create chances, pass around, do the backer style, pass around.
Let's not forget, if you are going to do that, you need to do that with players that are more advanced than Turkey have right now. And for me, the most important thing is, self-awareness is underrated. If you know your capacity, your potential as a team, you play to your strengths. You cannot come and hold the ball and be passing the ball, and you do not have a Frankie de Jong in your side. You do not have players who can hold up and do that stuff. So you have to play to your strengths, and they did yesterday, and it came up for them.
Their strength. They play to their strength.
Saying that they should hold the ball.
Don't need to have,
looking at creating chances for this.
You don't need to have a Frankie de Jong. You need to have a Kanahoglu who can pass around as well. You need to have players as smart as Anya in your midfield, and I think that was what they did yesterday. But in what's it called? The other team, Austria, they had Marcel fall back to defensive midfield. You understand? And that was where I felt like, after I saw that, I said, no, this game is over. You can't play Marcel Sabitzer on defensive midfield. He's the player that likes to drive forward, and it was like Declan Rice without a proper Thomas Partey. If he goes forward, nobody to replace him, and there's no Saliba in the back line to also cover the lines as well. So that was where the problem is for me. And I think the Turkish side would have to deal with this kind of thing in what they call when they play against the Netherlands, because it's going to be tough, because all the Netherlands players, that 4 players up front, are just at attacking options, no midfield, and just 5 defenders, 5 players. So the midfield will be empty for them. So if they could play as they played again, it means they'll be having a whole lot of players in their faces in their own half, and it's going to be a problem for them against Netherlands.
Okay, the quarterfinal is set on Friday, 5 p.m. Spain will be taking on Germany. That's all the big guys qualify for this quarterfinal, which is actually good, even though that most of them are not performing very well. But Spain and Germany are the 2 most entertaining teams in this Euro 2024. They play on Friday, up on 5 p.m. on Friday, 8 p.m. the same day. The big one again, Portugal versus France, and on Saturday, 5 p.m. England versus Switzerland, and 8 p.m. Netherlands versus Turkey. This how is going to be happening in the quarterfinal on Friday. We'll get there after this break. We'll go on short break, guys. After the break, we're going to get your prediction, and you can drop your prediction or 2 on our YouTube channel. We'll get your prediction on these games. We'll go on very quick break, short break. When we'll come back, we'll talk about Copa America. See you.
On Facebook at Volt 1043 FM. Let's vibe together.
Volt 104.3 FM.
Okay, guys, before we move to the Copa America, let's get your prediction. Even though we're going to talk about that game on Friday, we're going to stay on those games, but let's get your prediction for these 4 games. John, let me get your 4 prediction for this game. Who do you think that will qualify for the semi-finals?
It's going to be tough. The game between Spain and Germany is going to be very, very tough. But nevertheless, I expect Germany to qualify out of that game.
Give us your prediction.
It's going to be a tough one, so maybe a 1-0 win for Germany.
1-0 win. Okay.
Then for Portugal, France, I think France is going to qualify with maybe a 2-1 win over Portugal. and they should be through to the semi-finals.
So he's smiling.
Yes, of course, he has his right to smile, you know. Then you're talking about the final 2 games in the quarterfinal match, England qualifying and then Turkey qualifying. Those are my predictions.
You see that last part, I'll have to agree with him. I don't have any debates with
Just
Turkey
tell us your own
and
prediction.
England. But for Spain and Germany, we'll agree again. Germany going forward to the next round. Portugal, France, that's where I have a problem. The 2 best players in the world right now are not scoring goals. Let's say the best players in Europe, or one of the best players in Europe and the best player in Europe, they are not scoring goals. And it's a problem for me. So I don't know who to go with in that game, but I think I'll give it to Portugal because they have a way of holding on to the last minute of the game. So I'll give it to Portugal in that game. Then England is going to be a walkover for them against Switzerland. I believe Mbolo will do wonderful for himself. Xhaka and the rest, and Shaqiri will do wonderful for themselves, but England is just going to run them over. Netherlands and Turkey will have to wait till the extra time to decide, but Turkey is going through.
You like this extra time very well. Yeah.
Keeps the sleep away from the eye.
Yeah, you like this extra. I enjoy penalties too. I enjoy the live penalties.
Tension.
Yeah,
So you
the
look
tension
around and
there
you
is
see everybody
always
shaking on their. You're like, it's normal. We know who will win.
nice. Okay, we are getting some comments on our YouTube channel. I said the guy is saying, okay. Emmanuel is saying Spain versus Germany. Germany goes through.
Everybody's saying it's rooting for Germany to go through.
Emmanuel Okitidi is saying Spain versus Germany. Germany goes through. He's saying also that France will go through too. Esther Divine is saying Germany goes through, Portugal goes through, Switzerland goes through, and Netherlands goes through. That is his own top 4. I like his own prediction. Me, I don't have a prediction, but let's see how that goes on Friday. Okay, let's talk a little bit of Copa America before we go to transfers, because Brazil played yesterday or this morning with Colombia. They played a 1-1 draw, and Costa Rica played 1-2-1 against Paraguay. Let's talk about a little bit of Brazil because they finished second in the group. That means they play Uruguay in the quarterfinal, which is a big game. So that game 1-1. Were you expecting Brazil to win, John?
For me, I was expecting Brazil to win. I felt like they owed it to themselves to avoid playing Uruguay until at least the semis or the finals. But they went in to go and draw that match, even though they started early. They started with a banger, a goal from Rafinha, who we've been missing in the Premier League for a couple of seasons now.
Who is missing him? He was playing for Leeds. Who was missing him?
Still.
Now, see, play for Leeds, go to Barca, come back, and still doing fantastic for himself. That game, I said it here on the show yesterday, that Brazil will have to qualify second, so they will face Uruguay and lose Uruguay. And now, this is where I'm kicking my stand. Uruguay for the Copa America, because they've played well. I have players on that squad that I feel like I should go and snap with and train with them so I could improve my midfield intelligence, you know. These people have played well. But this Brazil-Colombia side was a problem. And what Ronaldinho said about them was just true, because, see, you play with Premier League middle table teams, and just
one of them is playing for West Ham, so
calm down.
But whose fault is that, for crying out loud? Whose fault is that? Like, for example, you're saying that they are playing with middle teams in the middle of the table in the Premier League. They don't have a star player. They don't have a big name. They don't have. Whose fault is that? Is that the coach's fault for calling up this side? Is that the nation's fault rather now for not developing talent that are playing in big leagues in Europe? Or is it just that Brazil has moved out of that phase where you have star players playing in the big leagues and they just have mid-level talent?
I have a friend that quoted, I've forgotten his name. There's a Bobby that played for England. This is a player that they said was one of the best players during his time. He was nominated for Ballon d'Or like twice from England, twice during his time, or 3 times. And they say him would not make any and he was one of the Premier League legends. He's a Hall of Famer. He will not make any Premier League team currently. Why do you think that is? That they no longer look for style. What they look for is athletes. And athletes and stylish players are not the same. Athletes are the ones that will run 70 minutes, not dribble. You don't dribble.
I think the part of the problem we're having
move.
now in football is that everybody's talking about statistics.
That's the problem. You're looking
for
everybody's looking for a proper athlete. Nobody's looking for a skillful player. And that's what the Brazilian team is now. Everybody is just an athlete. Run, pass, shoot. And the only players that is maybe playing differently, or the 2 players playing differently from the run, pass, shoot, is Vini Jr. and Rodrigo. These are the only 2 players playing differently. And maybe a Thiago Silva, but he's not in the mix. it's
You know,
Marcelo, but they are not in the mix. So it's a
so-
problem for Brazil to now start looking for that kind of flair again. So since they have these players, groom them to be able to play in top competitions and win. But you can't keep calling players from West Ham is a good club. You can't keep calling players from
West Ham and
Newcastle
and
and Aston Villa to come and win you Copa America. It's not possible. When the other Argentine side are calling players from Sevilla, which you know they are very technical. Moreno is from Sevilla. There's some other players from Sevilla and McAllister from Liverpool. So now you have an Uruguayan side. That's why I want to go back to that Uruguay. That's why you see an Uruguayan side having Valverde in midfield, Pelistri and for Man United and other top players in their mix, and Cavani and so on and so forth, and Suarez and Darwin Nunes. So I think for now, Brazil will just have to hold on to the next Copa America and just start the Jets already.
okay, guys, you know you can also call us into the studio and tell us what your contribution and your prediction for these games are. The numbers to call is 0706 048 5853. 0706 048 5853. Call and tell us what you think. Who do you think that will qualify for the semi-finals of the Euros 2024 and the Copa America? Now, the Copa America quarterfinal is set. On Friday, Argentina will be playing Ecuador. Argentina is the favorite to win this Copa America. Obviously, they are the defending champions. They are the world champions, so everybody's expecting them to win Ecuador. On Saturday morning, it's Venezuela versus Canada, Colombia versus Panama. I think Colombia should be winning that game. If you ask me, what do you guys think? They should be
They
winning.
should be winning that match, though.
Then on Sunday morning is Uruguay versus Brazil. That's your quarterfinal. They are going to be playing from Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. It's getting hotter. Every tournament is getting hotter and hotter and hotter. Let's hope we will get a whole lot of fire in these two tournaments. Okay, let's leave some of the comments on our YouTube. Remember, we are live on YouTube at Volt FM Sports. You can also go see other content we have there. Some amazing analysis we have there. You can go there and watch some of these games. We analyze them one by one, so you can go there and watch and like our content. So, okay, Esther Divine is saying a tough game. It will be between Germany and Spain. Okay, he's still giving prediction for the Euros. A tough game. It will be between Germany and Spain, who has wonderful young talents. May the best team win. Okay,
He's not deciding on who to go through.
Esther Divine is saying that Brazil disappoints again. They are just like England, good players all around, but they don't have a good coach. I don't even think that Brazil has a good player. The first time when they gave that report that their list, I was looking at that list and I was shaking my head. What is happening here? Do you understand? Then, okay, B. Emmanuel is saying Brazil is and still remains a team to beat. I still rate them very highly. You know, Brazil is always bad. It's like playing. Even though I don't know which team I'm going to use as an example, but let's say Manchester United, even though that in quotes Manchester United has fallen, but they are still Manchester United. Do you understand?
Thank God you're giving them their credit.
What do you mean? But Brazil is still Brazil. They still have a good team in their squad. Okay, guys, let's talk transfer. You know, a lot of transfer happened. Remember, July 1, the official window opened. Clubs have been making transfer, even though they have been making, but officially they were now signing players, releasing players. We are going to be talking about some few big clubs. I want to talk about maybe all the Premier League, but few big clubs. Let's talk about those few big clubs. Arsenal, for instance, have not signed any player. That is worrying for me, but worrying for Arsenal fans. But if you look at the Arsenal squad, they are a complete side. Where do you actually improve? Now you see Havertz playing very well.
For me, they are not a complete side. They still have a very big hole to fill.
Where? Which place do you
they have
think they
a
need to
very
sign?
big hole to fill. They have to sign. That's for me. If you say Arsenal is a complete side, maybe you're okay with finishing second in the league or finishing top 4 in the league. But if that's your aspiration for the side, then they have a good side. They can relax. They can see this one out. But if they want to go after the coveted Premier League title, then they need to address the gaping hole in their side, which is a striker that can give you 20-25 goals within a calendar season, and a replacement for Bukayo Saka, because let's say he picks up a knock here and then, who's coming in to take his spot?
Trossard will take his spot, and my problem now is Arsenal. I think they're about to let one of the best players to replace Trossard.
Nelson.
Not Nelson. This name Vieira.
No, Vieira is not going anywhere. Don't worry
Fabio
about it.
Vieira. He might be leaving anytime soon because he's not getting playtime. He's not even getting on the pitch when they need him. So I think it's a problem for me. If Vieira goes, then maybe Odegaard will go to the flank and replace Saka, who stays in that midfield.
See,
Now you start playing a midfield of Ben White coming to play
no,
defensive
no,
midfield.
I don't think Vieira will go. I think Vieira might stay one more season. Is Nelson that actually saying that he wants to go?
Now
because
that's
he
what I'm
needs to
saying.
play?
It's something I'm saying. Nelson is leaving. Vieira might leave next season. Now who is replacing
They will buy.
them on the bench?
You're talking about.
You need to start buying now.
Well, Sha, they release Eleni, they release Cedric, they release other many young players. But let's talk about Aston Villa because they qualified top 4 and they have done good business.
Yeah.
They brought in Rose Barkley from undisclosed fee. They brought in Matson from Chelsea for £37 million. They brought in other players from Juventus, 2 young players from Juventus.
It was from the swap deal of
Enzo and
this guy
Samuel
leaving.
Ellen Jr. So let's talk about Everton because they are looking like a good side now. They are qualified for they are playing Champions League. Now they are signed these players. Do you think that Emery is getting it right at Aston Villa also?
Getting it right after one season, no. This is just a one-time shoot. It's like Leicester City coming to win the Premier League.
How can you say he's not getting it right for crying
Come
out
on.
loud? Look at the players he's brought in. He's brought in players that can comfortably give you a good performance week in, week out.
What's
And
the
let's not
stats for
forget that
Enzo?
they already have a good team
Enzo is a
already,
young
and they've
player,
added these
What's
young
the
players
stats
to
for
the side.
Enzo in Juventus last season?
Enzo is a young
Samuel
player.
Elin has been on loan on 3 loan spells, 1 to Leeds United, 1 to Brentford, I think also. And he's not been performing. When he goes on loan, he's on the bench. Now you're bringing him in for what? To come and defend, to come and create chances.
To
These
add
people
depth to the
these people don't have the
team.
capacity to create
They
chances.
do not have.
You don't have depth when you know you cannot.
One of the problem Aston Villa had last season was they did not have depth to the team. They did
And
not have
they-
players
they
that
are-
could come
and they are
off
addressing
the
it
bench
now.
and could make a contribution into the side. And he's addressing it now by bringing in people who he can groom, who can take that position for the club, and they can add something to the team. So
The
it
only
doesn't
player-
have to make sense to you, but it makes sense to the manager, and
The
the
only
manager
player
is
they
doing what's
brought
right
in
for
that I
him.
know deserves that shout in that squad is Ein Mastin. That's the only player they brought in from Chelsea, and let the Omar Kelly leave back to Chelsea. That was a swap deal, and maybe paying 19 million. Chelsea paying 19 million for a 1 million player.
I don't know how they are doing that deal, but they are doing that deal somehow.
You
Everybody
sell
doing
a
that
player
deal.
for 37 million. You bought a player for 19 million. A player who they tell you is worth 1 million. You pay times 19 for that player. So I think that was the only business they've done so far that is reasonable, that you can see that okay, this business is worth
So
it.
you don't raise Barkley.
Barkley is on a free now. He's from
Oh.
Luton Town on a free. You're not going to talk about Barkley now because this was his childhood club. This was where he groomed from and went on to play in the world and is coming back there to retire. And same thing with Ashley Young. The player you rate now in this squad is Emma Steen. After that, the rest are just big part
Kamal
players.
Archer is too from Sheffield United. Come on. I think they have done a good business and they let go some top players too. Diego Luis that is moved to Juventus for 25 million pounds. Then Kellyman moved to Chelsea for exactly 19 million.
Yeah.
That's a young academy
the
player
young
moving. I
17-year-old
don't even
boy.
know how they did that, but they are doing it somehow in that Premier League. Everybody is bringing in and bringing something out. So let's talk about Chelsea. Chelsea have bought in Magui from Barcelona for £5 million. Tosin for free. Estavio Williams, for £29 million. And this Omari Kellyman from Aston Villa for £19 million. And this Brie Hall, they
From
signed him
Leicester City,
Leicester
yeah.
City for £30 million.
That's the recent one though, but I feel like this is a coach doing what Mourinho does. Whenever you're going to a club, there's this handbag you carry along. And this is the player
You
you
are
carry
bringing
along.
player you
The player
trust.
you've played with for like 3 years or 2 years, you've moved along with him. So you're as your starting job now, you need somebody you can trust to be in the pitch so you can get information and perhaps be a leader for you. So he's bringing him in along from Leicester City, and it's a good
He
deal.
can play from the wings now. They have in Chelsea. They have Palmer playing there. They have Modric.
Now
So who do you think that is going to bench? Because
he's benching Modric
He's
straight up.
benching Modric. There's no two
our
ways
Ballon
about it.
d'Or, our Ballon d'Or candidate.
I think Chelsea are just coming to terms with the fact that they've made a poor signing in Modric who hasn't paid off, and they're looking to get somebody else in who doesn't have all that media hype about him and who can just come in and do a good thing for them.
For me, if you look at these 5 signings for Chelsea, do you think is the team that they finished almost 9th, 10th on the table? Do you think that these signings now, so can take them to the top 4, at least top 4. If you look at these 4 signings.
Next year,
Or
no
5
top
signings.
4 for Chelsea. Chelsea fans, I will not apologize for this one. No top 4 for them this season. They want to build. Let them build in the 10th. Let them go back to their flat in 10th Avenue and stay for now. After that, they can come into 8th Avenue and stay. Man United is finishing on the 8th Avenue, and we are ready to accept our fate.
Okay, let's take this call. Good morning. Okay, so Marco.
About the signings of Baka.
Oh, Barcelona. Okay, Barcelona. Okay, no problem. He's waiting for Barcelona to do a sign. I don't think Barcelona has signed any proper players, though.
They're still looking
They're
around
still
the
looking at
market.
the market, but let me address Barcelona one before we continue. Barcelona have not actually brought in any quality player. They are still moving out players from the squad. They released Felix from Barcelona. They released a whole lot of players. Cancelo is leaving too.
Cancelo, Felix as well.
Felix,
Too.
so they are releasing players, but they have not really started buying in players. But probably, maybe after the Euros, they will start probably buying players because they have their own list. But I think most of their players that they are looking for are playing this Euros, so they need them to finish so that they can start the negotiation. So back to Chelsea. After they let go Thiago Silva for free, Lewis Hall for Newcastle for £28 million, and Matson for Aston Villa for £37 million, and Hutchinson, Ipswich for £18 million. Okay, let's move to should we start with Manchester United? No, Manchester United. Let's do Manchester United, right, guys? Okay, let's do Liverpool first. Liverpool have not brought anybody in. I don't know what slot is still waiting for. We have not brought any player in, and probably they are still doing planning. I don't know what they are planning since it's
They're waiting for they're waiting for a meeting.
I don't know what they are waiting
after the Copa America, the what's it called, Copa America and the Euro 2024. They will have a meeting with the players. Then after that, they will know who to bring in and who not to bring in, or who to let go. So I think he says he would have to wait for a meeting before he gets in the players.
For Liverpool out, Thiago and Cantara is out. I was hoping that guy's, I don't know what happened. Injuries that actually affected him very well, but they released him. Matip, they released him. Then they released a whole lot of young players. For Manchester City, they have not brought anybody in, and they have let go just few academy players. Now, for Manchester United, they have not really bought any player. They just bought in 2 young players, Maxis for Ipswich free, and James for free for two young players. But now they have released, before we talk about Manchester United, they have released Varane, Anthony Martial, and okay, they are the 2 top players they have released. Others are young players. So guys, Manchester United, if you look at this team, they are the one that should be even everywhere in the market, because I was thinking that once it's 1st July, once the windows open, I'll be hearing that I've signed 5 players, John, but they are not even brought in, and all the players they are linked to, all the links have died down in recent days. So what's happening in Manchester United?
You have to look at it from the side of they haven't gotten their backroom staff right, and therefore they've not yet even started talking about transfers at this point in the transfer market, and they seem to be struggling to get the type of players they want across the line. So it's going to be a long transfer window before we start seeing transfers coming, and the fans should just have to be patient with the team, because they are starting from 5 meters behind the finish line, behind the starting line. So they are going to do a lot of their deals from August rather than from July.
League is starting in August. Why are they doing this deal in August?
Now it's dragging Man United to a panic buy, because you're doing a deal in August, transfer window ends in September 1st. Now all your deal in August is a panic buy. But Man United wants to get the setup right. They want to build. See, they said before you start building, you need to look at where things has gone wrong. Then you start from there to fix. And I think in the coaching staff, McCarthy might be leaving at the end of this July. So that's one of the assistant coach leaving already. Now you have another assistant coach that might be leaving as well. So these are players that have played for Man United, that have gotten results for Man United. Now they would leave for Ruud van Nistelrooy and Rene Hake to come in and take their places properly. Then after that, you can now start seeing a build. Man United are linked to too many players, but they've not really made bids for those players. You have the likes of Delight, and in the coming weeks, maybe next week or so, you'll see them complete the deal for Zexki and Ugati, the PSG midfielder.
They are still linked with Delete.
No, and as I'm saying, Delete might be next week transfer talk, but for this week, maybe before the end of this week or before the end of Tuesday next week, they might be completing the deal for the weekend. Ugati might be coming in for the weekend, during the weekend, after the game against the quarterfinals of the Euro Copa America, after the quarterfinals, he might come down to England and do a medical, or he might go down to America and do a medical in America, and perhaps they'll sign a deal there. That's for Ugarte. Then Zeski might be completed before Friday. These are two players I'm certain will be completed before Friday. Then next week we'll start looking at the lead.
Your source is telling you.
I just have to trust him this time around, because they've given us news, and after all those news, we are not hearing that the club are not linked to any of those players. So I think for now we have to look at these players and believe that they are coming to the club for good.
Okay, Joe. If you look at what's happening in Manchester United, Joe, if you look at Delete is going to come in, obviously, because he's not giving the green light for them to come and sign him. They need a defender. Now, if he comes in, do you think that they should buy another defender, or is Delete enough for Manchester United?
And like I have always said and will continue to say, it's not enough to just bring in one defender into a defense that is leaking. Okay, you play 30 defending formations in 33 matches last season, and your answer to that after losing Rafael Varane is to just bring in the link. Come on, it's not enough. They need to sign at least 2 top-rated center backs and then bring in somebody as an understudy to these 4 guys in that defense.
Okay.
So they need to make 2 signings and then an understudy, either from the academy or a young player they are going to bring in to play in that
I don't
position.
have a problem getting understudies. There are understudies on the bench. There are understudies in the academy graduates. There are understudies everywhere in Man United. There's a Willy Kambwala who's on the bench. They had to let Fosu-Mensah go. Tuanzembe, the Congo guy. These are players that have left Man United setup, and these players did well for Ole Gunnar Solskjaer when he was there. Now they've gone. You're looking at bringing in young top players. Maybe I'm saying the Leeds has injury crisis as well. He suffered injury crisis in the past. There's a Tubido that is somewhere, but I think they're trying to look at where not to get, so they see that the Inos don't cook the book in that, because these 2 clubs are being owned by the same party, so they don't want to.
So they can't go for Tobido, so they have to look.
Now there's a Euro.
Else.
There's a Euro that could also pick the light and perhaps do well. Why not take him in? I used to say this. So there are 1,000 players in the market. I come for you as a club and you're going somewhere else, because he went straight to. I will not come for you again, even if your interest is in that club.
But
Me as
they are
a
going
manager,
for him again. That's the truth.
the thing is, if they're going for him again, it means the present coach wants him. If it was another person that was there, and maybe the whole set, because the people that were there last time, he didn't go for Man United, are gone. Woodwards are gone. The Glazers are not really handling football issues again, so they are not putting their mouth in football matters. They're only managing commercial matters. So with the Ineos team there, they might go for the light and get a result from there. So I don't know.
Okay, let's talk about transfers from Real Madrid. They just brought in our Mbappe. Apart from Mbappe, they have not really brought in. They have released Nacho. They have released
Joselu,
too.
yeah.
And for Barcelona, they have not really bought any player. Probably they are waiting after the Euros to conclude before they buy.
Just looking at the La Liga now, there's a lot of balancing acts that need to be put in place before they can sign players. Barcelona have that depth they are dealing
They always
with.
have that depth for
They
the past
have
5 years.
players that are on big salaries that they need to move on before they can bring in any player. So I think it's going to be a long while before we see any transfer from Barcelona.
It's going
They're
to
looking for 2 midfielders from Italy, and they will have to raise £100 million before they could get those players in. And raising those players is going to be tough. So let's look at what they do before that time.
So let's hope that Barcelona and Real Madrid, they will keep buying. They love buying players. They will keep buying. But for Barcelona, they need to buy to compete with Real Madrid. If they don't buy, I don't think they'll have what it takes to, because Real Madrid have a lot of firepower to win even the Champions League again. So this is how we're going to be ending today's show on Volt FM Sports. Thank you for all the people that joined on our YouTube channel. Remember, guys, in our YouTube channel is at Volt FM Sports on YouTube. Go there, we have a lovely comment. You can join us every day live in the studio where we discuss football. Drop your comments. We're going to read all your comments, and we have an amazing content for you there. Please subscribe, please share, and please like our content. And please subscribe. If you are listening to me, go now and subscribe. This is how we are going to end the show. Thank you for being with us. Thank you for our callers. Thank you for our fans. Thank you for everybody that has been with us. So we're going to see you tomorrow. Tomorrow we are going to be talking about more and more transfers, because a whole lot of clubs have been linked, in a whole lot of players have been linked. So we're going to talk about all these rumors and all what the clubs need to do to improve next season. See you tomorrow. My name is Godwin, signing out.
4.3 FM, where music meets the voltage. Take a break and enjoy the show. Sports.
Alex Iwobi gets the ball out to the left-hand side. The delivery comes in. Oh, it's a great, that's a great goal!
Entertainment. News and politics.
Enugu State governor has sent us the electricity bill.
Gospel.
And let them have dominion. The kingdom of God is within people.
Awesome programs exclusively on
Volt 104.3 FM.